Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Mind's Eye, and thank you all for tuning in. So, tonight I want to rank the 7 studio albums from The Cars. All 7 other studio albums ranked from my least favorite to my favorite. And this is just my opinion. And that being said, I think all 7 albums are really good. I don't think The Cars have a bad album. But I do have to put something at the bottom. And you may think I'm crazy, but I'm going to put Shake It Up at the bottom, number 7. I still like this album. I still like Since You're Gone's a great song. I'm Not the One's great. Victim of Love, Cruiser. Shake It Up, it's a good song. It's not really one of my favorite Cars tracks, though. But the reason I'm going to wind up putting this one at the bottom is because I'm pretty indifferent to like the entire B-side on this album. I won't say they're bad songs, but they're just kind of there to me. I don't really have strong feelings about them one way or the other. So that's ultimately why I'm going to put Shake It Up at the bottom of the list. Number 6, I'm going to go with Door to Door. When I first heard this album, I was kind of surprised. I'd always heard this was the worst Cars album. So my expectations were pretty low going into it. But to my surprise, I really liked this album. Albeit it's a little bit of an uneven listen. I think there's songs like Fine Line, which is like my least favorite Cars song pretty much of all time. I could pass on Wound Up on You. Double Trouble's okay. But other than that, I think this album has a lot of great stuff. Leave or Stay, You Were the Girl's a nice catchy pop single. Strap Me In, Coming Up You. And there's a lot of great rock songs on here, like Everything You Say, Ta Ta Wayo Wayo, Go Away. And the album closer and title track, Door to Door, is an absolute banger. One of the hardest songs the Cars have ever done. So I think this is a really good album. A little bit uneven, sure, but still, a lot of good stuff on here. Had this not been the album that the Cars were breaking up during, maybe they could have really made this into a classic, but I still think there's a lot of good stuff on this album right here. I'm going to put Door to Door at number 6. Number 5, I'm going to go with the one that I don't own, that is Move Like This, released in 2011, the most recent Cars release, and again, it's another one that I was actually really surprised how much I liked it. And it sounds very much like a classic Cars album. I mean, if I didn't know better, you could have easily convinced me that that album was released in the 80s. Because it sounds very much classic Cars. I really love the album opener, Blue Tip. Sad Song was great. Track 2, which the title of that track is escaping me for some reason because I don't have the track list in front of me. But I know track 2 was like one of my favorite songs on the album. I thought it was great. The whole album is good. I really enjoyed every song on the album, so I thought Move Like This was a really, really solid album. I'm going to put it in at number 5. Number 4, and it's the higher up we get, the tougher this gets. I'm going to go with Heartbeat City at number 4. And this is a good album, man. I hate putting this one at number 4. This is home to my favorite Cars song of all time as well, which is You Might Think. A lot of other great tracks like Hello Again, Magic, I love a lot, Drive, Looking for Love, Stranger Eyes, I Refuse is good. I think maybe down the stretch, the B-side has a couple songs that I don't know that I dislike them, but there's a couple of songs that maybe I'm a little indifferent towards on the B-side. I think that's ultimately why this album's going to sink to number 4. But still, this is a really, really good album. It's got my favorite Cars song of all time. Heartbeat City is going to be number 4 for me. Now, I made a last-minute switch here, just driving up to the laundromat. I put in an album that I honestly don't go to as much, but I put it in, and I thought, man, I gotta switch my ranking up a little bit here. So I'm gonna move Candy O down to number 3. I think Candy O is a great album. I love Let's Go. I love It's All I Can Do. I love the title track. Candy O is a rockin' track. The B-side's got like Night Spots, Can't Hold On Too Long, Lust for Kicks, Got a Lot on My Mind, Dangerous Type. Not a bad song in this album. No, not a bad song. Great album. I love this album start to finish. I was all set to put this one number 2 as well. I was gonna do it, but on my way here, I popped in the Cars debut album. To be honest with you, I don't put this album in as much because just about every song on this album you hear on the radio, like all the time. I'm a little burnt out on some of these tracks, like Good Times Roll, My Best Friend's Girl, and Just What I Needed. They're great songs. I mean, hey, Just What I Need is the songs that first got me into the Cars. So I love that song, but I hear it all the time. I don't feel a need to usually go to it on my own. I'm not quite as burnt out on You're All I've Got Tonight. Love, Bye Bye Love. I'm not, that's the one hit on here that like I'm not worn out on at all. But I put this one in, and I just, burnout factor aside, this is a great album, great debut album. Every song here is awesome. I love Don't Just Stop, All Mixed Up, the ones that you don't hear as much on the radio. I was going to put Candy-O over the debut. I was all set to do it, but I put this one in. I'm like, man, I think I gotta switch that one up a little bit. So I'm gonna put the Cars debut at number 2. Great album. Like I said, even though some of these songs, you hear them on the radio a lot, I'm still gonna say this is my number 2 Cars album. Great album. And yes, I'm gonna have a little bit of an against the grain pick here at number 1, but my favorite Cars album is Panorama. And unlike the Cars and unlike some of Candy-O and Heartbeat City, you don't have a lot of real overplayed hits on here. I think Touch and Go is really the only one that I ever hear on the radio. But there's a lot of great stuff on here. I love the title track. The opener, Panorama, is really cool. Give Me Some Slack is one of my favorite Cars songs. Probably like, it's got to be top 5. It might be like second or third on the list for me. Don't Tell Me No, Getting Through. Really love the first half of this album. Second half is really anchored down with tracks like Misfit Kid and Up and Down, which I think are catchy as all get out. Not a bad song on the album. This one's generally considered to be like the weaker of the original first 5 Cars albums, but I disagree. I mean, it is a little different. I think it's a little bit of a more serious, darker kind of an album here. Not quite as party rock as those first 2, but I still think there's a lot of good stuff. A lot of great lead hooks on these songs, just like you come to expect from those first couple Cars albums. I think Panorama is pretty freaking awesome. Love this album to death. So let me know in the comments below how you would rank the Cars discography. Again, this is just my opinion. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and all that good stuff. And I'll catch you next time.